Hi, I'm Abby Strolla.
And I'm Daniel Keating. Welcome to this edition of Fred TV News, all about millennials. Our first story is about how dependent the millennials, otherwise known as Generation Z, are on technologies today. Here's Nick and Ethan with that story.
Cell phones. We all have one. And it just so happened that the first iPhone came out when millennials were teens and young adults. How did this technology change the way millennials communicate? And how did the generations before and after compare? Before the generation of millennials were Generation X, who grew up in the age of materialism and rising technology. This made for a generation that loved new technologies but did not rely on them.
Technology, when I was a kid, really was about video games like Pac-Man or I think it was ColecoVision or Atari. We didn't have phones or things like that. So for anything I wanted to socialize with kids or people, it was the house phone. And that was it. It was that simple.
This all changed with the introduction of the iPhone, a computer in your pocket. People's lives at the time were made much easier, and therefore they became almost a necessity. The millennial generation was smack dab in an era of the cell phone. Do you believe that you rely on your cell phone nowadays?
Every day.
Yes, I believe I rely on my cell phone.
I am dependent on my phone.
I think I do. I depend on my phone very much because I like to use my text messages, I like to call people, and I like to go on social media platforms such as Instagram, Snapchat.
What do you use your cell phone for?
To communicate with my friends and family.
I use it to communicate with my friends, make plans, text my mom, make sure everything's happening around so I know what's going on.
I'm using it a lot for calls. I play games a lot, like Clash of Clans. I text my friends.
Because of the social media, the interwebs, and so I can text my favorite person in the world, Julia Matos, and I don't know what I would do without her, and without my phone, I couldn't text her.
This generation of millennials has been the transition period between enjoying technology to totally relying on it. All in all, it is clear to say that the way we socialize has been heavily altered in the past few decades.
Technology is ever-changing. Each advancement tends to be another reason why this generation chooses to communicate via this technology. Gone are the days of talking by the home phone. Here's Hannah with that story.
Hi, I'm Hannah Cornejo. Have you realized how reliant millennials have become on their cell phones? Over the years, millennials have leaned toward using smartphones more and more. This reliance on smartphones has led millennials to pick up their phones at unnecessary times, even when they may be important. We can see this majorly with school, while driving, and as a means of curing boredom. How long can you go without using your smartphone?
Honestly, I use my phone all day, and I can't go a second without it. I'm always on it.
The reliance of smartphones have made millennials suffer a great deal of lack of communication. Often, when there is a large room filled with people with nothing to do, the first instinct for millennials is to go on their phones. This makes the future unsettling because how will millennials react when they have to communicate vastly in the workplace compared to their teen years? How long could you go without your cell phone?
Probably about maybe a couple hours, and then I'll start to miss it a little bit.
Do you prefer texting or calling?
Texting, because I hate talking to people. Seriously, I hate talking to people.
As the years go on and older generations pass by us, will smartphones consume us more? We need to stop relying on our smartphones too much before we can't live without them. Could you live in a world without cell phones? I'm Hannah Cornejo. See you next time.
Another way in which today's generation is different than Generation X is how overscheduled teens are today. Society plays a big role in why teens are filled with anxiety and depression.
One of the main topics amongst older generations is about millennials and how their lives are so different today. The older generation will say that teens today are filled with anxiety and stress. Some say it's society and the environment that has forced these changes.
One example of the older generation versus teenagers today is the daily routine that exists for them. Teens are overscheduled constantly with after-school sports, theater, dance, and other extracurricular activities. Even school in this day and age is filled with loads of classwork, testing, and homework. The average middle and high schooler brings home about 3 to 4 hours of homework every night.
I feel like we're all really fast-paced because more kids do school activities and sports after school, and then we also do work and stuff. So, yeah.
Another factor of change is that social media has taken over the planet and become the main platform for communication and entertainment these days. Kids and teens are drawn to this media so much that it's difficult for them to turn off or take a break. It's like always being available every minute of every day. It's like a light switch that is never shut off.
I would probably be exactly the same as every other kid is now. I mean, my phone is usually within 20 feet of me now. So, I mean, I guess I'm similar to many kids, even though I'm a little bit older in terms of my dependency on technology, just because I'm close enough that I kind of grew up as it transitions to.
One of the biggest differences in the environment today for millennials versus the lives of Generation X is that many things in today's world are organized and mandatory. Whereas Generation Xers were able to learn life lessons from making errors, hang with friends just because, playing one sport and enjoying it but not having to play 3-level teams to be better at it. There needs to be a balance in life. Work hard and play hard.
Oh, how the times have changed. Society needs to chill, and we need to get back to the basics in order for millennials to survive without anxiety and stress. Balance life and turn off.
And here's my story with Abby about Generation X versus Generation Z. Just another example on how times have changed. Many people from Generation X claim that life was drastically different than the Generation Z era that we live in today. Through various technological advances, life has changed into a more dictated environment through the uses of 21st century devices such as phones, computers, and laptops. Many people from Generation X claim that us, Generation Z, rely on technology too much. Back in the day, they had to use the resources around them, such as dictionaries, libraries, and books. Let's get a point of view of a millennial and see what they have to say.
In my opinion, Generation X is not very tech savvy like Generation Z.
I think that technology has taken a toll for the better because without it we wouldn't have advancements in engineering and medicine.
Another example of Generation Z and Generation X is the way we get information today. Generation Z relies on technology to learn, such as Chromebooks, internet, and phones, to gain access to information, whereas Generation X had to actually look things up in books, wait for the library to open, make phone calls, talk to people, and many more.
Biggest differences I see between the two generations is the advancement in technology, the use of technology. Because there are a lot of disadvantages. It kind of consumes them, takes over their lives, and it leaves very little to the imagination of creating hands-on.
So how has growing up in a different decade changed who we are as people today? We have no patience, lacking life skills, and technology has given us everything we have at our fingertips instantly. Well, those Generation Zs had a lot to say. On that note, Hold on, I just got a Snapchat.
Did you see what Nick tweeted on Twitter?
No way, that's crazy. On that note, I'm Abby Strollo. Have a great day. We're also seeing advances in the world of entertainment, especially how media is distributed to its viewers. Everything is literally at your fingertips with a quick push of a button. We're definitely spoiled today.
Well, I am Bryce, and today I am staying out of the Fred TV studio talking about how we got spoiled with entertainment.
Entertainment has changed since the 1920s to now. The biggest change has been how quickly we can access any form of entertainment. From YouTube videos, movies on Netflix, podcasts, etc. You can watch your favorite shows just about any device.
TV back in the good old days was very different than it is now. Shows were different. The sets look different. If you watch an older show, it looks kind of funny because of the things that the people are wearing, and the way that the sets are designed are very different.
The other way in which millennials are spoiled is that they don't have to wait for anything. A click of a button gets them to their desired movies, shows, etc. And nowadays, they don't even have to be home to view them.
I like just simply watching on my TV, or sometimes when I'm on the go, I like to watch it on my phone.
Lastly, shows and movies have changed. Special effects we have shows like SpongeBob, AFV, Disney Junior, and more. Now we have streaming devices and the internet.
Well, that's it for today. Enjoy your TV shows and movies, and bye-bye.
Entertainment is now displayed over a vast array of platforms, social media and apps being the biggest craze. Our last story is about something you may or may not have heard of. It's called TikToks. This is an app that posts quick videos of comedy and opinion, which typically get a lot of views. Some of these videos are riskier than others, but nonetheless, they are the latest fad.
TikToks, the 2019 version of Vine. If you're not a teenager, you've probably heard about it from your kids, or you've probably never heard about it at all. I'm Cam Norwood, and this is Fred TV. TikToks are short videos where teens express their depression using songs to lip sync to. Not all videos are depressing. Some are really funny and others really creative. TikTok started as an app called Musical.ly back in 2014. In 2016, the app was launched with the new name TikTok. In 2017, the company was sold and started to gain popularity. Now in 2019, every teenager knows what TikToks are. Do you know what TikToks are?
Yeah. I live under a rock, Cameron. Of course I know what TikToks are.
Would you like to be TikTok famous?
Of course, Cameron. What do you think? I live under a rock. Of course I want to be TikTok famous.
Well, I got TikTok famous because one day I was bored and decided to make one. And literally in the day, a couple hours later, like 100,000 views and like 20,000 likes. And now I'm like at 160,000 views and like 70,000 likes. So it's pretty easy. And I started using TikTok because my friends would just send me TikToks and I couldn't view them because I didn't have the app. So I downloaded the app and I started like looking at all these TikToks. Like, these are pretty fun. I should make one.
If you're familiar with Vine, TikTok isn't much different. The biggest difference is Vines are pure comedy.
Today is a wonderful day.
Yeah, that was TikToks. And
Well, that's all for our newscast. Thanks for watching. I'm Abby Strollo.
And I'm Daniel Keating. Have a great day, everyone.